Well, the irony was thick. Yesterday, after receiving the Nobel Peace Prize, President Obama met with his war cabinet for the fourth time in almost 2 weeks, discussing a new strategy in the war in Afghanistan. Operation Enduring Freedom has now endured 8 years. 792 American troops have been killed, more than a third of them this year. The very first combat casualty in the war was a Marine turned CIA operative named Mike Spann. And this morning, his father, Johnny Spann, is joining us from Winfield, Alabama. Thank you for joining us, sir, and thank you for your sacrifice.
You're welcome.
Does the pain get any easier? How does it change over the years?
The pain doesn't get any easier. You just learn to live with it. The fact that you realize that your son was doing what he thought was best, that he loved America and was a patriot, and he was willing to fight for his country and do the thing that was right.
Your son was...
we know that, and that's comforting.
It is, yeah. Your son was killed during a prison uprising, Taliban prisoners there, and it came just as he was interviewing, actually interrogating John Walker Lynn, the so-called American Taliban, who's now doing 20 years in prison. And you took a very active role. You went to Afghanistan, you met with Northern Alliance leaders, you met with George Tenet, head of the CIA, so I'm sure you've been following this debate now. What are your thoughts on the way forward in Afghanistan?
You know, the thing that's really disturbing to me is the fact that I feel like that, we sort of took our eye off the ball, and we've been in Afghanistan now for 8 years, and we pulled out and went to Iraq and, sort of left Afghanistan when we didn't do what we went over there to do, which was to get bin Laden. Osama bin Laden was the cause of 9/11 and is the reason we went to Afghanistan. And he's still running free, and we haven't gotten him yet, and that concerns me. I wish we would get more focused and understanding what our mission is there, and stand behind our men and give our people that's over there. We send our men and women, our children, our husbands over there to fight for us, and give them the things they need. If they need more equipment, if they need more troops, every what they need, let's give it to them. Let's get this thing over with. By
all accounts, it seems, though, that logic has it that Osama bin Laden is probably in Pakistan these days, and the main effort is fighting the Taliban in Afghanistan. A lot of debate as to whether they even pose the risk that al-Qaida does. Your son died at the hands of the Taliban. So do you think by moving our focus back to al-Qaida, it would in any way sully the loss of your son?
That's something I think that we don't understand completely, because, we go back, we went to Afghanistan to fight the Taliban. We didn't go there. We fought the Taliban because they were harboring al-Qaida. Al-Qaida is the people that struck us on 9/11. That killed so many people in the United States, and that's who we went after, Osama bin Laden. He is al-Qaida, and we had to fight the Taliban in order to get to them. George Bush stood at ground zero and told everybody all over the world with a bullhorn in his hand that if you harbor them and if you help them, we'll get you too. So we didn't have any choice but to fight them. Right. Taliban's bad people, but in Kali Jangi, most of those folks were al-Qaida. They were mixed, Taliban and al-Qaida. John Walker Lynn was not a Taliban. He was an al-Qaida member. He went to Afghanistan, tried to join the Taliban, and they told him, no, you can't be one of us. You have to go, you can go and join the al-Qaida group and train in their training camps, and that's what he did, and he fought on the front lines with al-Qaida. So instead of calling John Walker Lynn a Taliban, that's incorrect. He's an al-Qaida member.
Well, it's an interesting point as we examine the way forward. Johnny Spann, thanks for joining us again. We appreciate it.